On the 15th day of January 1956, crude oil was discovered at Oloibiri oil field, just as a child offers a beacon of hope of a better future ahead. The discovery of crude oil brought to the heart of Nigerians a hope for a better future, a new beginning. Is it?
There are no lack of laws to regulate the petroleum industry. One will think that with all these laws, the petroleum industry should be well structured and functioning properly. This then begs the question, why the need for the Petroleum Industry Bill?
In the last 5 years, there has been 25% decline in joint venture assets in terms of percentage contribution to crude oil production, with a corresponding decline in government revenue. Economic analysis suggests that if current trends persist without a progressive reform, Nigeria's JV production is likely to decline further by 17% in the short term and might plunge to 52% in the medium term. The Petroleum Industry Bill is divided into 4 parts: the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, the Petroleum Industry Administrative Bill, the Petroleum Industry Fiscal Bill, the Petroleum Industry Host and Impacted Community Development Bill. Only the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill has been passed by the National Assembly. The Petroleum Industry Governance Bill was not assented to by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because of a few technical reasons.
So, what can be done?
President Muhammadu Buhari has returned the bill to the National Assembly, and there are a number of options going forward. However, it is advised that the National Assembly and the Executive go back to the drawing board and talk it out. It is time to jaw again on the dialogue table and come up with a solution.
The petroleum industry is currently facing challenges such as lack of sufficient infrastructure to run the oil and gas industry, the long contract award process, scarcity of petroleum resources, the inability of the NNPC to meet its funding obligations to JV operations, pollution and environmental degradation of the Niger Delta region, the lack of a statutory base of existence of the Department of Petroleum Resources, non-functioning refineries, to mention a few. These have led to the resource mismanagement in various streams of the petroleum industry, making the headlines of the news and destroying the image of the nation. These issues have been around for a while, so why the sudden anxiety, one might ask? The proven oil reserves in Venezuela, recognized as the largest in the world, was totaling 297 billion barrels as of 1st January 2014. Venezuela was a land flowing with milk and honey. The story in Venezuela is no longer the same. The current situation Venezuela finds herself in is as a result of a combination of plummeting oil revenues and years of government mismanagement, which crippled the country's economy, sparking a humanitarian crisis that she is battling till date. Venezuela's economy is cursed by her political regime, not her natural resources. Currently in Nigeria, oil reserves are dropping and we are further away from our 40 billion barrels goal of 2020 than we were 6 months ago. Worsening the situation, there are less discoveries of crude oil. The need for a properly structured petroleum industry is more urgent than we think. Considering the level of resource nationalism and mismanagement of the petroleum industry in Nigeria, we should keep asking ourselves the hard question: are we headed the way of Venezuela, or can something be done urgently to stop the rapid descent of our petroleum industry?
For over 17 years, Nigeria has been on the journey to passing the Petroleum Industry Bill. The closest we have gotten so far is the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, where we all know almost does not kill a bird. petroleum industry bill is becoming impassable. So much time and energy has been exerted with a constant back and forth. The question still stands. How much longer will it take us to get it right? We can no longer fold our arms while we watch. We have to get it right. There is only one direction for the petroleum industry: forward. The world, although wary, is waiting for our next step. The moment we announced the PIB, we drew attention to the fact that our current statutory framework was faulty. However, what is worse than the faulty law we currently have is the uncertainty that has engulfed the industry by the non-passage of the proposed PIB. This uncertainty is a condition precedent to resource mismanagement. The time for reformation of the petroleum industry is yesterday.
This is the final boarding call for all passengers booked on flight N960V to Simón Bolívar International Airport, Venezuela. Please proceed to Gate 3 immediately. We invite all passengers to begin boarding at this time. Please have your boarding pass and identification ready.